Colum, here's an easy one for you. Flesh out then Xi Jinping thought for us.
Okay, well, I think we said in the story that we describe it as esoteric, which is basically a very nice way of saying that it's very difficult to pin down and define. Let's consider it a work in progress, gathering together snippets from Xi's speeches, writings, his sayings, and his ideas, and basically forming a kind of very loose package that would shape his ideology and obviously government policy as well. So, yeah, it's a pretty tricky one to define, but there are some sort of easier to grasp examples. For example, Xi thought on ecology, for example, where he said things like green hills and green rivers are gold and silver mountains. And then other similar examples from diplomacy, economy, and military reform.
That was quite deep there, Colum. Mostly for our foreign audience right here, international audience, people watching who might not be familiar with all the nuance here. Talk to us, what is the significance of all of this?
So on a number of fronts, this is quite important. One is that it does elevate Xi to a level on a par basically with Mao, and of course in the process raises his profile. So that means that questioning his policies and directions will be even harder going forward. More specifically, we're expecting it to be reflected in the upcoming 5-year development blueprint, and that's going to be revealed after party meetings next week in Beijing. So it's important because it's setting a tone, and it's also something that will be encouraged to many, many different sectors of society to study and to reflect in their plans. And basically, it allows the leader to take credit across a broad range of topics, some of them, far from the realm of politics, and improves his standing and sort of cements his position in Chinese political history.
And Colum, what does it tell us about Xi's plans to remain in power?
So typically, a party general secretary would be in power for 2 terms of 5 years, and that would suggest, under normal conditions, that Xi would retire in 2022. But it's clear that he wants to serve beyond that, possibly for another 10 years or possibly 20. And in order to do that, one of the things one of our analysts in the story mentioned was that he needs to consolidate power, and the bigger his power base, the better for him. And Xi thought is one way for him to do that. It's a very important way, and ultimately it can be whatever Xi thinks he needs to ensure his own rule long term.